Welcome to the Voynich Manuscript. My name is Finn Hammersley.
I'm Nico and I use they, them pronouns.
I am purely a cactus.
You're Madeline.
I am purely a cactus. Spiky, spiky, spiky.
And today we'll be talking about who put Bella in the Wych Elm.
I didn't know we were doing an episode on Beauty and the Beast.
What?
That's not the right person, is it?
No.
Okay.
I'll start the episode there if you want. Oh, Jesus. Alright, before I start telling you about it, does anyone know anything about it beforehand?
Absolutely not. You told me not to look into it.
Doesn't mean you didn't know about it already.
I mean, seeming I just confused it for Beauty and the Beast. I think that kind of sums up my knowledge on it.
Yeah,
so.
You did just confuse. I don't even know where you'd get Beauty and the Beast
I don't
from.
know. I heard Bella, and for some reason my mind just went, "Oh yeah, that's that show that I watched 10 years ago."
Sure.
It's a movie.
And her name is Belle.
That's Bella. Twilight, this shit.
Yeah, it's Bella Swan from Twilight.
Bella Thorne, the Disney actress turned porn star.
But I think the point is none of us ever. You're the only one here who has any idea of anything.
Yeah, that's normal.
I think that's the point.
Yeah. Alright. So, in 1944, a graffiti reading, Who Put Bella Down the Wych Elm, Hagley Wood, appeared on a wall in Upper Dean Street, Birmingham, which is like 10 minutes from where I used to live. Don't put your bottle down so hard.
That's in fucking England.
It is in fucking England.
Oh, I was about to ask, where's that?
So the fact I said it's 10 minutes from where I used to live.
I know you're a British boy, but
It's 10 minutes down the channel, yeah?
please turn.
You live in fucking France.
No, like before you said it was 10 minutes from where you used to live, I'm like, I'm gonna need you to tell me where that is.
Oh yeah, it's not like Jim Boomba or anything.
Fuck's stupid.
Yeah, where's that?
It's Upper Logan.
Ew.
Yeah.
Do I look like a Logan?
Yeah, you do.
Personally offended.
You are the entirety of Logan.
Fuck.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Anyway,
the 2-hour X-Men movie.
There was graffiti.
That was crap. Oh no, Logan.
was
Logan was good.
Logan
X-Men Wolverine Origins.
Oh, yeah, that was
So
fucking...
that was awful.
what's weird about graffiti suddenly appearing
Is this like the peeping
on a
Tom
wall?
thing?
No, that's in Coventry, which is where I am actually from.
Fair enough.
Get
Yeah.
doxed.
Docs, hunting you down.
That's not a mystery, but that's just a thing that happened.
Right, we're changing the topic of the episode. Where in Coventry does Ben live?
Because Lady Godiva rode around the streets of Coventry nude, and everyone promised not to watch, apart from one man, Tom, who peeped, and looked at her naked body.
Oh, is that where that comes from?
Yeah.
That's how pornography
I
works
thought it
with
was
kids.
just because every single Tom is a fucking creep.
To be fair, I've not
Shout
met
out to all my Toms.
I have not met a non-creep Tom because I've not met a Tom.
Same, actually. No, I do know one Tom, and he's nice.
This
I
is off
knew-
topic.
The episode is... We're 3 minutes in.
Madeline the Derailer.
I will derail this entire episode.
You already have.
It's my only goal.
I keep trying to put us back on topic. Talk about the magical graffiti.
Anyway, a year earlier from when the graffiti appeared, on April 18th, 1943, 4 local boys, Robert Hart, Tom Willets, Bob Farmer and Fred Payne, were poaching in Hagley Wood in Worcestershire.
That's illegal.
It is very illegal. And they came across a large wych elm, which is a big fuck-off tree.
Yes.
When they checked for eggs, they were shocked because they found human remains.
Hell.
I love that. That's the sort of like a murder mystery.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's actually incredible how you managed to deduce that.
I-
Shut the fuck up, okay? I meant like in the sense of like, there's dumbass shows your mom watches.
And here is a
Let it
picture of the tree.
Let it be on the record.
That's
that
a real nasty ass tree.
It is a real nasty ass tree.
I was expecting it to like be this really pretty
Nope.
No,
leafy
people
tree,
hate
and it's
witches.
just fucking looks like a barbed wire piece of shit.
It looks like something you'd find in a really shit horror film.
That
like a
you look
really
at that
good
tree
horror.
and
Or
it's
just a
like,
horror
wow,
film,
I'm in
yeah.
a budget country.
Wow.
Sorry guys, we're on budget. Can we fake the tree, please?
Yeah. We don't have the money for real trees.
Yeah, we don't have the money for leaves at the moment.
So replacement,
Especially
so replacement
winter.
you'll be using fire.
Alright, so Bob Farmer, one of the boys, climbed the trees at first and discovered a skull. At first believing it to be an animal's, not knowing how you could confuse a human
He's
skull
an
for an
idiot.
animal.
Monkey.
Yeah, he's an idiot child in the
His
40s.
name is literally Farmer. He had his life determined for him.
Bob Farmer.
Exactly.
Well,
his
isn't
life
that
was
what-
determined.
Isn't that what surnames were for? That kind of
Yeah.
thing? Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. But after discovering human hair and teeth, he realised otherwise. As this was private land on the Hagley estate owned by Lord Cobham, they were illegally trespassing and hightailed it out of it.
What is with these names? I'm Bob Farmer! Oh, it's
I'm on Lord Cobham's land.
Okay, we get it, you're 5.
It's Cobham. Cobham.
Ham.
More like bottom. I'm sorry.
Anyway, yeah, the 4 boys got out of there quick without mentioning it to anyone. However, on returning home, the youngest, Thomas Willits, felt rightfully uneasy about what he witnessed and reported it to his parents.
Hello, Mummy and Daddy. I saw a body when I was
Yeah,
stealing them.
I was
along
gonna
with
say,
eggs. Now
I
he's going to
I
execute
can't
me.
imagine how that conversation went. Mama, Papa, I saw a corpse in a tree!
While I was poaching for eggs.
That's you're eating crime.
So any theories so far?
The eggs.
So
The eggs
far,
did it.
nothing really sounds all that supernatural to me. It's just some dumb
No, yeah,
bitch
this
who
question
died in a
Because you're
tree!
not thinking about it enough. Okay, you gotta think of the fact they're hunting for eggs. So therefore the human remains hatched from an egg.
What?
This human was egg birthed and it's the only one of its kind left to die alone in the sun of a rotting
I
planet.
feel like when Finn asked for theories, he meant plausible ones.
This is plausible. Part of this isn't plausible.
That is about as plausible as me being straight, so...
Hey-o.
But it's a possibility.
Anyway.
Anyway, moving swiftly along.
We hate the gays.
What
We actually don't.
Yeah, as the gays, I'm sure
As the 3 gays, we actually do hate them.
yeah, we are extremely homophobic.
Well, I do
It says
hate
the giant
myself,
pride
so I
flag
guess that
behind
counts.
Can't see it. So yeah, when the police checked the trunk, they found a nearly complete skeleton, a shoe, a golden wedding band, and some fragments of clothing. The skull was quite valuable evidence, as it still had tufts of hair and a clear dental pattern, despite some missing teeth. And after further investigation, the remains of a hand were found some distance from the tree.
Huh.
Here is a picture of the skull.
Oh,
really?
yes, please.
It's metal as fuck.
It's metal as fuck.
Yeah.
Not that metal.
Maybe not as fuck. It's kind of metal.
It's got shit growing out of the eye socket. It's cool.
Yeah, so do I.
I mean, it's cool, but like...
I have shit going out of the eye socket.
Fair. I meant more plant life. Do you have, moss growing in your eyes?
Yes.
Are you a Tumblr post from, 2013 where they have, flowers in half their face?
Wow, that's a dated reference.
Now you get to know how old I am. Just
people
kidding.
who watch this are 100% gonna be 12. They're not gonna get that.
Why would 12-year-olds be watching
Yeah,
this?
why would-
I feel like that's
Look,
not for a
First of all,
demographic.
listening. And second...
Okay, there's 2 audience members, okay? You have 50-year-old mums like mine, who just watch any true crime thing they can find. Or a 12-year-old who just discovered what the internet is, and is trying not to type the word booby into Google search.
I don't know what kind of 12-year-old you were, but okay.
You know what?
The type of kind that would type booby into Google search.
And see how far you can find nip.
We understand that you're basically a lesbian, okay?
Basically.
Basically.
What do you mean, basically?
You're dating me, you can't be a full-on lesbian.
Okay.
Anyway.
Plug in.
The body was sent to forensic examination by James Webster. He quickly established that the remains were
Is that the guy who read
female.
the dictionary?
No, fuck off.
Let Finn talk, honey.
He quickly established that the remains were female and had been dead for at least 18 months, placing the time of death in or before October 1941. Webster also discovered a section of taffeta, a high-end fabric used in ball gowns and wedding dresses, in her mouth, suggesting that she died of suffocation. Webster also determined that her body was still warm when put in the tree, else it would have been impossible due to rigor mortis.
Rick and Morty.
Shut up! I'm finished. Feel free to riff now.
Yeah, so my first thought was that kind of sounds like the old-timey equivalent of having Gucci shoved down your throat and dying.
I mean, you're not wrong, but...
Which is a weird observation for me to make, but...
Yeah, as the bogan we already established you
I'm
to
not a
be.
fucking bogan.
You have a tank top
That's
on.
my family. I come from a family of bogans, okay?
You have a tank top on.
It's hot. I can wear what I want.
I'm not wearing a tank top.
I'm not wearing a tank top.
Okay, I get it. I have cooler arms than you guys, and I have to show them off.
We get it. You paid $200 to put ink on them.
No, my mom paid $200 to put ink on
It's
them.
not better.
Yeah, well, it is, because at least I didn't pay for it. Anyway, aren't we meant to be talking about dead people?
Yes, you're meant to be talking about dead people.
I'm not dead yet, so stop talking about me.
The person is dead.
Damn, really?
Do you have any theories?
The person died.
Well, I'm assuming that the cloth that she choked on was too, deteriorated or whatever to, figure out what kind of time period it was from. Or anything like that.
Oh shit, I forgot forensics didn't exist back then.
Yeah.
It did. It was just really rudimentary.
Well, yeah. They couldn't,
These teeth are teeth! Did you know that?
Oh my
Red
giddy
teeth.
art! These
Actually,
teeth, they
it
be
actually
teeth.
is kind of incredible that they managed to find teeth in a British person, so... I just want to point out, Finn is attempting to murder me right now.
With his eyes.
No, not with his eyes, he's got a knife. So anyway, on the next
There is-
episode,
there
how
is-
Madeline died mysteriously on a podcast.
There is a knife somewhere in this room, and I'll happily use it. You can't see it from here.
Okay.
You're too short.
But,
It's probably up there then.
Yeah, precisely.
so, how the fuck... I guess because it was in a tree and no one fixed I wonder if there's a corpse in this tree. But, how the fuck does a corpse go 18 months without someone finding it? How big was this land?
This is called private property.
Yeah, it was quite big. It was basically a forest.
Oh.
And this is on the top of a hill, tree on the top of a hill, and it was private property.
Okay, because I was gonna say, if it was a small land, that corpse would be stinking up the place.
Yeah, it would, but at the same time, private property.
Yeah. Well, I have a private property. Well, my parents have a private property, and I'm sure if there was a corpse on there, we'd smell it.
That big
And then
your
again, I
house
don't earn a
is-
forest,
Honestly,
I earn an acreage.
you could put it
well,
in
my
that creek
parents.
that's down the bottom of it and no one would guess any different.
And it dries out, so...
The creek of a corpse.
Yes.
Well, the corpse is in water, it's not really gonna dry out, is it? It's gonna be perpetually wet.
Unless the creek's wet.
I mean, that's what you said, but...
Oh my god. So, it was just some random lady?
Well,
Did
we
they
don't-
even, ID who it was?
Well, I'll get into who it could be later, because, no, the main mystery is no one knows who this woman is.
Could be the Betty down the well. Or could that just have absolutely nothing to do with the rest of this and it was just a fucking red herring?
The graffiti in the corpse are completely unrelated.
Yes, it's a red herring.
Yeah.
To throw us off.
It's not like that I bring it up again in the next 2 paragraphs of my notes.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Speaking of my
Spoiler
notes...
alert.
Police could tell from the items found with the body that the woman vaguely looked like, but with so many reported missing during the Second World War, records were too numerous even, for a proper identification to take place. So she looks like a couple of the people who went missing in England during the Second World War, because this was during the Second World War. I will throttle you.
So what I'm hearing is she's a basic bitch. And everyone else who matched that vague description is also a basic bitch of their
I
time.
feel like there's a much smarter way to figure out who the body was. They had a wedding band. Why not go around to all the people who were recently widowed, or not widowed, the other one. When woman die, man alive.
When they became widowers.
Yes, widowers. And just hey, is this your wedding band?
Yeah, obviously
Yeah, but
wife's
think
wedding.
about
Is this your wife's
it.
wedding band?
I feel like back then there wouldn't have been as many options for, wedding rings and shit, so all of them would probably be like, I don't know, that vaguely looks like my wedding
Once again, you
band.
don't understand, this is England. They've stolen all the gems from everywhere else, so they've got plenty.
Yeah, that doesn't mean they look different.
This has become
though.
a British insult stream.
My life is a British insult stream.
Yeah, because you're friends with Madeline.
Yeah, you chose to be with me. This is your choice.
You make it sound like you're dating.
Yes.
You chose
We
to
are.
be with me, okay? You have to deal with this.
We are dating, you just couldn't tell.
Don't hold hands right in front of me. Of course you will. Of course.
The police cross-referenced missing reports throughout the area. None of them seemed to match any of the evidence. In addition, they contacted dentists all over the country, since the dentistry was quite distinctive on this skull.
The dentist took the skull and ate it.
I'll actually get into that later.
Oh.
Not dentists eating a skull, but
Them wanting to.
they're wanting to consume its squishy flesh.
Of which there was none.
They already have. The dentists, we never thought of this.
Isn't there a horror movie about dentists eating people?
There is I know there is just a horror film series about a dentist. I don't know specifically about him eating people.
Dentist.
Can't remember what it was called either.
I think it was called the dentist.
I just
Probably.
remembered a random fact. It's kind of
the
related.
orthodontist.
But, I was watching this video, and this kid was like, I don't need to be scared of the dentist, right? And they're like, no, you should be very afraid. This one tamed a lion.
Oh. Is that guy? Was that the dentist who killed a lion a few years ago?
I can't remember.
Yeah, that was that.
Yeah. Anyway, so
podcast, we hate lions.
yeah, this is an anti-lion podcast.
We're actually advocating for the death of all lions.
It's been. If you go back through every episode, every 6 episodes I've recorded, and play them all backwards, it's just kill all lions over and over
On
again.
repeat for 4.5 hours.
It's amazing how we did it, because considering we never mentioned a single word twice. Anyway. So in 1944, the graffiti message... a graffiti message relating to the mystery appeared on the upper wall in Dean Street, Birmingham. Reading, "Who put Bella down the Wych Elm, Hagley Woods?" This provided investigators with several new leads for tracing who the victim could have been. Other messages in the same hand appeared too, since at least the 1970s, similar graffiti has sporadically appeared on the Hagley obelisk, near where the woman's body was discovered, with a slightly modified message, "Who put Bella in the Wych Elm?" Witch spelt like a broomstick, which, not witch, is in the witch tree.
How do you spell the witch tree?
WYCH.
Ah.
Yeah. Any new theories?
Bella was a lesbian. I have no problem.
No context?
Mhm.
Cool.
I don't know. I'm more confused as because there wouldn't have been as many people in this area in this time period. So they, instead of being like, ooh, who was the victim?
Okay.
They could have been like, oh, let's trace who's been buying spray paint recently and find the person who did it.
It's not spray paint because that didn't exist then.
Oh, well, I wasn't
regular.
from there, so I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, it was just regular.
I was just regular paint. Well, samesies. Look at who's been buying that kind of paint recently and
Yes,
then call
hello-
him a saucy
Hello,
barker.
85-year-old man who was trying to be painting his house. Who's
Why would
painting his
an
house?
85
Please stop committing murder.
Why would an 85-year-old be painting their house?
I
paint
want
their
to
house.
forget the memories of my dead wife.
Who I killed and put in
Now
the
Wych
Elm. Every once in a while I go
I
postal and
guess-
paint along the wall.
I go postal and fucking kill everyone.
I mean, I don't know if this is with actual serial killer things, because I don't track that kind of stuff, because my name's not Madeline's mother.
Orphan Hammersley, apparently.
Yeah, Orphan family.
That's my sister. She's a
But-
serial killer enthusiast.
I know, on shows and shit, they're like, ooh, the serial killer left a message, or the killer left a message. So
Let's
it's like,
ignore it.
I guess I can see where they're coming from with, oh, maybe this is a message from, the killer, but I honestly don't think that's it. I think some little twat just went, I'm going to paint this on the wall!
Remember, hey, Hey, Billy, remember that murder from 30 years ago? What if we pretend we did it?
Yuck!
I can't afford my rent, so I'm gonna go to jail.
I'm Bob Murderer.
I'm Bob Farmer, Murder.
I changed my last name to Murderer because I thought it'd suit me better.
You can call me Bob Murder Farmer. Murder is my real middle name. Well, the first graffiti appeared a year after the body was found.
Yeah.
So
really, it could have been anyone who knew that the murder happened.
Yeah, and it was quite publicised because people wanted to figure out who she was.
Here's my question: why the name Bella? Was that like a what do they call it? You know how in hospitals when they don't know like a woman's name, they call them like a Jane Doe? Is it like that? Is that kind of like placement?
To my knowledge, in England, it is Jane Doe. I know other countries have different versions of it, but yeah, in England it is Jane Doe. It wouldn't have been Bella blank.
Yeah, but what time periods, right? So it could have. I don't think it was, but it very much could have been back then, like just a placeholder name.
Yeah, it might be.
Maybe it took someone a year to realise their mother was killed.
Yeah, who knows? It's a real Norman Bates psycho thing.
It's a real mystery.
Ooh.
Did they cook?
Play the theme again.
Insert theme.
Did they clock how old the lady was?
I think if I remember, they managed to narrow her age down to about, I think, her 30s.
Oh, so she's like a younger woman.
Yeah, I can't quite find. Yeah, I can't quite find a solid thing.
Well, who
for
needs
her age.
facts when you got me?
Who needs facts when forensics was in their early years in the 40s?
Yeah, so let's assume this woman is in her 30s, and since she has a wedding bed, I guess you can assume she's married.
Yeah.
And so she didn't match any of the missing basic bitches at all.
Well,
Or like it's like, oh,
No,
this
but
doesn't
she
correlate
matched-
to this.
She matched too many of the missing basic bitches.
basically, yeah.
Oh. Well,
It was one of the
why
two.
wouldn't they just like go around and be like, hey, is your
Is
wife
this your
dead?
wife's
Lol?"
skull?
Yeah. If you really love your wife, you'll know whether this is her skull or
This is
not.
the entire skeleton of your wife. Can you confirm it? I'm your wife.
I meant more at like the sense where they could have been like, oh, has your wife, your wife went missing, right? Like, do you know like around where she went missing or like that kind of thing?
Right.
Interrogate the widowers. Is that what
Yeah,
we call them?
widowers.
You know the widows now. Fuck them.
They're the winners. They died.
Take her place.
Swap places in the Wych Elm.
It just, from the information you've given me, I feel like because obviously forensics is rudimentary, but I feel like they could have been doing a lot more.
Right. Yeah, you make a good point, but
It's called The Police Hate Everyone. And they actually committed the murder.
ACAB,
yeah,
am I right?
It was I think this is the third time we've had. It was the police.
I don't think it was the police. I just think that they kind of negligent on this case.
Right.
What? Police being negligent? That would never happen.
Damn. Especially in a
What?
modern era,
Yeah,
imagine that.
The police are perfect in every way. They've never done anything wrong.
So something. Remember how you were talking earlier about the dentists eating the skull?
I was right!
Well, funny thing, we have no clue where the remains are.
Yeah.
today.
The dentist ate it.
Well, James Webster, the guy who was doing all the
And
forensics
the guy
on
who read the
this,
dictionary, yeah.
Okay, shut up.
he went to send it to the remains to a buddy of his who was better with forensics than he was, but it got lost somewhere along the way, and no one's been able to find the body since.
Fucking
The post people did it.
Yeah.
They went postal.
For some reason, my first thought was, let's play Parcel with this random woman's corpse!
It's easy. Accidentally sent it to India.
Send it to India.
I mean, how did they send packages in that day? Was it like on horse and carriage?
You realize cars existed.
Yeah.
I
And
know, I
planes
was making a
existed.
joke.
And boats existed.
I know I'm not funny, okay?
No, that's why I got you on this podcast.
I need someone to, like,
You're
turn
the-
down Madeline's funniness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had to be pushed down a notch.
But you're the yin to
The
each other's
anti-
gang.
See, the issue would be I would be so unbelievably funny that I would be put in as the lead and Finn would be kicked out.
Yeah.
There's
You're
no-
Madeline's
Finn-
dampener.
Finn is threatened because I'm just got so much more natural charisma that I'm going to take over the podcast.
+5
And that's
modified
why-
to charisma.
Yes, I've got a +8, motherfucker.
Is that?
That's illegal.
Yeah, that's very illegal.
Magical items, bitch. I'm blessed by God.
Well,
Stop putting your bottle down so
Cursor,
hard!
do you want a cursor? It's wet in your desk.
There's a coaster next to you, Madeline.
Okay, Madeline, grab it.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hi, coaster. Welcome to the
A
podcast.
coaster.
That's a jar full of dice. Don't shake it.
And that is when all of the viewers went deaf.
Ah!
R.I.P. headphone users.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Here's just a fun fact before I get into popular theories.
Sure.
In
A
2018...
woman died.
Shut up.
In 2018, an episode of the TV show Nazi Murder Mysteries...
I'm sorry, what?
Oh my god, I forgot Nazis existed back.
I know, right? 4 years ago, 3 years ago. I'm good at math. They described a forensic facial reconstruction undertaken by the Liverpool John Moores University, or Face Lab, from photos of the skull. I have not been able to find a single one of these photos of, like, the reconstructed face. So I'm just... Also, I brought it up because it's funny because it was by a show called Nazi Murder Mysteries. Alright, some popular theories. I'll go over 2 different types of theories on who Bella was and who did this to her, or why this
I know
happened to
who
her.
did it to her.
Go on.
I know it. I actually committed the murder myself.
Really?
There's clearly only one option here.
Okay.
And that is, okay,
Aliens.
so, no. So, there was a mystery in the 70s, okay, in America. This is a very long way away. So, I was watching a random Netflix
both
show.
time and place.
Yes, I was watching something, I think it was just some YouTube video about someone who was, hijacked a plane, and then
Are you
jumped
gonna
out of the
DB
plane.
Cooper this?
And then jumped out of the plane, and then disappeared into a forest, never to be
Fuck
seen
you.
again. So my theory is, she was on a plane, okay, with Nazis. The Nazis killed her because she was clearly British. You know, actually couldn't be, 'cause she had teeth. So, a Nazi on a British plane. The
The annoying thing is, most of the theories involve her not being English.
The Nazis killed her. Oh, the British killed her for having teeth. The person, yeah, and the American thing, the person fell out of the plane, never to be seen again. And this one, the woman fell out of the plane and just landed in the trees. And then got stuck, because the witch elms are obviously very spiky, we saw the picture. So therefore, landed on the spikes, impaled and stuff. So then, when the corpse deteriorated, all the stuff fell off, because there was no flesh to hold it up. And that's the theory.
The annoying thing is
I'm not wrong.
that one of the theories is that she was a spy
Yeah!
for the Germans.
That is literally the first thing I thought when I heard this.
And the theory is that she was parachuting down to become a spy in the UK, and the taffeta in her mouth was part of her parachute.
Was it the same kind of material that was used in
Yes.
parachutes at the time? Oh, that makes sense.
Why would they say it's a ball gown then?
Well, no, it's the same sort of... I was just giving examples of what could have been made out of.
Okay.
Well, the Lord was having an affair.
The Lord, who plays no part in this story other than it took place on his land.
Well,
having
I
an
mean,
affair.
did they at least interview the Lord?
Not what I could find, actually.
That's fucking stupid.
Well, we
It's
found a
literally on
we
his
found a dead
property.
body on your property. Okay, bye.
You're not sus at all. Don't worry about it. You got money,
How old
and
was-
you're
how
white.
old
You
was
can't
the
be this.
Actually, how old was the Lord at the time?
I don't know.
The
I
age of the
couldn't
Lord.
even find who the first name of the Lord at the time. It's really weird. Like, in
So he
the...
erased himself from history.
Though, in all fairness, these episodes, I don't put a lot of research into.
Well, that's because
I do a lot of research, but not enough.
Well, that's because the point is for us to have our batshit crazy
We
theories instead of actual plausible theories.
We justify our mental insanity. That's the
Yes,
whole point
yes,
of this
yes,
podcast. Justifying mental insanity.
All right.
I mean, I just proved that she just JB Coopered.
DB Cooper.
Close enough.
JB Hi-Fi.
JB Hi-Fi. The JB Hi-Fi store was placed there. Her skull can now be seen in a television.
It's one of those hanging displays in God.
This is the corpse of a woman we found.
Yeah!
Hey, it's around Halloween.
Yeah.
You get away with it.
Just in a Pirates of the Caribbean display.
Wait, now copyrighted.
Oh, shit. I'm sure that'll be fine.
What's the second theory? Because clearly the first one was international super spy.
I've got 4 other theories. Yeah,
Oh
I've got.
shit! This is a game theory.
Oh my god.
Hello, Internet.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to game.
I feel like
Stop putting them back. It's so
I
hard.
feel like you're gonna be sued 5 times over.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name's MadPad, and I'm suing FitTown.
I'm suing this random podcast I found because they mentioned my name.
I'm suing this random Australian podcast which has 1 viewer.
Me.
Listener, Jesus. Okay, so this theory is from British comedian and actor Stephen Punt. He's also an interviewer and things like that. He's been in a few things.
Wow, really?
This is from an interview he did in 2014.
Find out who Stephen Punt is.
He suggested 2 possible victims. The first one was reported to the police in 1944. A Birmingham sex worker. In the report, he stated that another sex worker called Bella, who worked on Hagley Road, had disappeared about 3 years previous.
Oh, I know this guy. He's ugly.
Okay.
Yeah, continue.
The name Bella, or Lou Bella, suggested the graffiti writer was possibly aware of the identity of the victim. Thoughts on that one?
Some teenager thought of a random name.
Right.
I mean, I don't know about the whole name thing, but it is quite plausible that it was a sex worker. I don't know how sex work was back in the day, but
Prostitution is
even nowadays, prostitutes die, and people are like, lol, who cares? They were just a lonely, it's basically lol. They were just a prostitute. Who cares? So I think that's quite plausible.
All right. The next theory also from Stephen Punt
From MatPat.
suggests comes from a
It was the
different
guy.
comes from a different police statement in 1953 by Una Mossop. She stated that ex-husband Jack Mossop had confessed that him and a Dutchman named Van Ralt had put the woman in a tree. She went on to say that Mossop and Van Ralt met for drinks at the... Jesus, you'd think I'd know how to pronounce these. Littleton Arms, a pub in Hagley. It's spelled Lyttelton.
Ew.
Little.
Maybe Lyttelton? Later that night, Mossop said that the woman became drunk and passed out while they were driving. The men put her in a hollow tree in the woods in hope that in the morning she would awake and be frightened and to see the error of her ways. Jack Mossop was confined to a Statford mental hospital because he had recurring dreams of a woman staring out at him from a tree. He died in the hospital before the body in the Wych Elm was found. The likelihood of this being correct... the correct explanation is questioned because Una Mossop did not come forward with this information until more than 10 years after Jack Mossop's death.
Yeah, that just sounds like someone who wants clout.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it?
But first, what error of her ways? Drinking or drinking and driving?
Apparently she wasn't driving. She just passed out in the car.
Oh, women drink, women bad.
Yeah, commit crime.
Let's chuck them in a tree and give them trauma.
Women drink, women bad.
Because they were probably also drinking, right?
Women drink. It's like a cartoon
Official
of a woman drinking, women bad.
But they were probably also drinking, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
If this theory was true. So then it's Why would you throw a woman in a tree for doing something you were also doing?
Because woman drank woman
Woman
bad.
bad.
We determined this. We're making sure.
This is fact!
I feel bad for speaking now.
We've had two options for merch now, like with the communist emus and the...
Communist emos and woman drink woman bad.
Why not both?
Da, 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 da.
If it gets popular enough.
Yeah. Another theory comes from an MI5 declassified file about Joseph Jacobs, the last man to be put to death in the Tower of London on August 15th, 1941. An ABHR agent, ABWEHR. ABBA? Yeah, I thought so. ABBA.
Gimme.
Oh, this is just the parachute one again. I forgot I paraphrased it.
Or parachuted it.
Another theory is in 1945, Margaret Murray, an anthropologist and archaeologist at University College London, proposed a more radical theory. This is one you might be into, Nico.
Okay, I love radical theories.
Witchcraft.
Hell yeah!
She believed that the severing of...
seats.
Thank you for the form.
There.
I'm not editing that out. She believed that the severing of one hand was consistent with a ritual called the Hand of Glory. After the victim had been killed by gypsies during an occult ritual, her ideas excited the local press and led investigators to consider other ritualistic killings of a man, another seemingly ritualistic killing of a man, Charles Walton, in nearby Lower Quinton. So, basically, the theory is, they cut off her hand, shoved her in a tree, witchcraft.
Okay, well, I'm assuming I'm the one who knows the most about witchcraft here.
Yes.
So,
Witchcraft expert?
I'm not an expert. I've just dabbled in it. Anyway, so...
We do a little bit of witchcraft around here.
We do a little bit of
when
witchy
was
work.
this theory proposed?
45.
45. Okay.
1945.
Yeah, so...
1845.
What?
Let me get a bit logical here.
You're getting logical about witchcraft.
Yeah.
I like where this is going.
So, even nowadays, but especially more back in the day once again.
Back in the day.
in the vague times of back in the day.
The vague times of 1945.
But the first thing that comes to your mind when it's witchcraft is satanic witchcraft, right? Oh, they work with the devil and that kind of thing, but that's actually a very small sect of witchcraft. So the likelihood that some weird satanic ritual took place doesn't make any sense. Especially if there wasn't any, remnants of the ritual, because in witchcraft, you return a lot of the materials that you work with back to the earth.
Mm.
Because witchcraft is basically, a huge respect for nature without being hey, I'm vegan.
Yeah.
Well, witches can't be vegan. I just wanted to make fun of vegans. Anyway. And so, yeah, I actually completely don't believe this. Unless you find evidence that there were, remains of a ritual, like chalk or salt layouts and candles or herbs or that kind of thing.
Well, I actually just Googled, because my extensive research, the ritual that they claimed it could have been, the Hand of Glory ritual.
Sounds like something in a porno.
Kind of does.
Yeah, it kind of does, yeah. The Hand of Glory hole. A Hand of Glory is a dried and pickled hand of a hanged man, Jesus Christmas. Often specified as being the left, Latin for sinister, hand.
Oh, no.
Or if the person was hanged for murder, the hand that did the deed.
What deed?
Presumably
Wait,
the
before
murder.
they die?
No, the murder.
What hand do they masturbate with?
Powers attributed to the Hand of Glory. According to old European beliefs, a candle made from the fat from a malefactor who died in the gallows, lighted and placed as if a candlestick in the Hand of Glory, which becomes from the same man. This is really poorly written. As the fan in the candle would render motionless all persons to whom it was presented. So it would freeze people who were, who the handle was presented to.
What do we present it to? Like,
Stop.
here's a candle.
Hand candle!
Stop right there, criminal scum.
There's a picture of all the fingers being candles.
Stop right there, criminal scum. I have a candle.
Well, I mean, a lot of, at least from what I know, a lot of witchcraft materials or ingredients are usually not flesh. They're usually like herbs and plants and crystals, and they do use wax, but I know most witches try to use like waxes that aren't made from animal byproduct or anything like that.
So they were just vegans.
They're not just, because, no.
Witchy vegans.
Witches could still eat meat and use products that have animal byproducts in them. But it's just they try to not to because of the respect that you have for nature when you're doing witchcraft, or you're meant to have when you're doing witchcraft.
So they instead kill plants.
Yeah.
Murder.
Well, they don't
Murder.
use more, well, you're not, in witchcraft, you're not really meant to use more than you need.
Right.
You know? Like indigenous Australians back at when they weren't colonized.
Don't look at me when you say colonized.
Colonizer.
I'm sorry, I can't help it. Your British magnetism.
My eyes were drawn to you when I thought of colonizing.
I've got a baseball bat in here as well.
Oh,
I'll
please
happily-
do beat me up.
Exactly, you stole that from
But
everyone.
TLDR, probably not witchcraft.
Okay. Alright. The final theory I will pose is, in 1953, another theory surfaced, namely that the victim was a Dutch woman named Clarabella Dronkers, which is beautiful surname.
Drunk is more like bonkers.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
She had been killed by a German spy ring consisting of a British officer, a Dutchman, and a music hall artist for knowing too much. Available records and evidence were unable to support this theory.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief.
I still think the only viable theory is my egg hatching theory.
I was about to say, why do they keep coming back to this idea of like a German spy? But then I realized it was World War II.
Yeah.
So they were more suspicious of German people.
Said Germans.
It's like how in the Cold War everyone was suspicious of the Russians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if it was the Russians?
Oh my god! The people who were on our side?
Yeah.
Or was
You
that
know,
World War One?
No,
that was World War
II.
One.
There was also World War
Wait a
II.
I'm confused now.
I know a lot about history. This is my section now.
Fuck! We've
So-
invited this monster.
World War II had allies in the Axis.
Damn, really?
The Allies was basically everyone but the Axis.
Well,
Thank
And
really?
the Axis, the Axis mainly consisted of... There are 3 major countries in the Axis.
Yes.
Germany, Japan, and Italy. Now, Italians are bitches. Italians in 1943, I believe it was, kind of said, "Can you please stop hurting us, allies? We'll be an ally." Smiley face. So they kind of skipped over it. But yes, we were allies. But we were fucking... I'm comparing myself being a Brit.
Australians! What do you think the Anzacs were?
Disgusting. So...
Oh my god. You're gonna get this podcast cancelled.
Yes.
Yeah, don't get my podcast cancelled for what... If you're going to cancel anyone, audience, cancel Madeline.
Cancel Milky
Twitch.tv/Milky
Wannabe.
Wannabe. Cancel me there and give me money to cancel me.
Give me bits to cancel me.
Give me enough money that I can retire and then I can get cancelled.
No,
They
just-
can't take my money away from me then.
Yes. But another thing was that, yes, Russia did have spies in Britain. Britain had spies in Russia. They have spies everywhere because they don't trust each other. Russia
we
didn't-
still don't.
Russia doesn't like anyone else, and they never have liked anyone else. So, they were spying on each other because they're like, hey, we don't trust that you're not going to turn around and try to murder us. It was more of like an enemy my enemy situation.
Right.
So, yeah, Russia didn't get along. That's why the Cold War started immediately after World War II.
Mm.
Like, not immediately after, like a couple of years after.
I love that.
It's because Russia and Britain were like, not Russia and Britain, Russia and America were kind of like, hey, fuck you. And then it was like, no, fuck you. And then it took 20 years of them staring at each other saying, fuck you. Like, we're going to bomb you. No, you're not. Yeah, we're not.
And then the bombs dropped and Fallout happened.
Fallout 76.
The best game. Looks at hat of mine with Fallout 76 logo.
Tear goes down the right.
It's a good hat, okay? It does its job. Well, unless you have any other theories, I reckon that's where we'll wrap up this episode.
Egg-hatching theory.
Well. It's not a very exciting theory, but
Go
I
ahead.
have a theory.
Go on.
It's very boring and logical. So,
My least favorite.
back... I appreciate the support, fiance.
We aren't married.
Not yet.
That's why you're fiance.
Exactly.
But I'm assuming, I think domestic rates will... I'm literally going to punch you in the dick.
You already have.
I would do it again.
I'll do it again.
I don't have a dick to punch.
I never said I was
Anyway.
gonna punch yours.
I don't have any feeling. Who am I kidding? I
Anyway.
don't have any feeling down there.
my penis in the car.
Can I talk?
You flamed your penis in the car door.
I will slam both your penises in both car doors if you do not shut up. The
Point
whole
taken.
2 car doors we have. Anyway.
You have like 8.
Shut up. Wedge.
My brother's car, his car.
So, my assumption, theory, I guess, is I think the Lord was... I think it has to do more with the Lord than, theorized. Because it was on his land, so he's the, obvious first person you'd think of.
Yeah.
And they didn't interrogate this dude at all. Like, hey, dude, you have a corpse on your land.
Yeah.
Lords had cash money back in the day, right?
Depending on the lord.
So he probably had cash
He's on like an
money.
acreage.
It's
like
more
that.
than an acreage.
So I'm
A forest.
thinking this woman was basically his side hoe,
Yep, his side hustle.
and they got on a domestic, and it ended up with him fucking necking her. And so he went out in his big ass forest land and hit her in the fucking tree.
That's an interesting thing, because I have never heard any theories or anything about the Lord.
Really?
Yeah.
That was the first thing I thought.
I know. Like, I never thought of it either.
But I'm just a comedy person, so I couldn't say it.
Yeah.
It was the first theory I thought
Make
of.
a funny comedy, boy.
Bazinga!
I'm gonna kill you after this.
Madeline will not be on the next day.
Yeah, Madeline will not be on the next episode.
We're gonna have a
Thank you, and
domestic.
good night.
Hey, do you have a tree on this land by any chance?
It actually got struck by lightning in the main part of it. No, I have another tree.
Is that a tree I could shove a corpse into?
I think there's actually a hole at the top. I don't think it'll be big enough, but
So I'll cut you up into pieces.
yay! Put you in, shove you in Tupperwares.
So
And
there's also one theory we haven't brought up yet.
Go on.
BDSM gone wrong.
Oh, that is true.
It's playing along this sort of theory of, there's gag in her mouth.
Yep.
That's the only thing I have going for it. But
Gag in their mouth. Sex game gone wrong. They like trees.
the Lord was a bit of a kinky boy.
They fucked trees.
So he
They
hired...
were vegans.
Yes, the vegan witches. So he found the vegan witch in the forest, brought him in, kinky times, didn't work out very well. Person ends up dead on floor. What do you do? Oh no, return them to where they once came. So he just yeets them into the forest.
That is very witchcraft of him.
Yes, it is the very common witchcraft thing of just yeeting a body into a
No,
forest.
it's returning things to nature.
No, I'm pretty sure you did me in the yeeting into a forest.
Maybe this was
Sure.
a dryad. What if this wasn't a person?
It was a nature spirit.
A nature spirit of sex and BDSM.
That doesn't feel very. I guess sex is technically nature-like.
What if this was just like a Neanderthal?
I doubt that.
It was a frozen man.
It was Bigfoot.
Ooga booga, I am woman.
I've actually got a Bigfoot episode coming up with Talitha and Jacobs.
Oh,
Nice.
That sounds horrifying.
That combination of people.
But
or
who
the-
would be the funny man?
Talitha's just gonna say the word "cum" like a million times. Spoiler alert.
Yes.
I'm banking on it.
Anyway, do we have any other theories?
Oh, my personal theory is
Purple guy.
my personal theory is I love the witchcraft theory because it's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
We took
But-
the hand of glory, and we took it from woman.
But
No,
no,
woman
my personal theory is the sex worker one, where it's probably
The graffiti did it. The painters out together.
But yeah, I think that concludes it for this episode.
Yeah, I've got nothing
Do
else.
you
to say.
have any plugs?
I already did, technically.
You technically already did, but I think everyone else was talking over you.
twitch.tv/milkywannabe. I don't stream, but do it anyway.
Alright,
Make me
I'll
look
put a link to
She'll
it in the
stream
bio.
like once every millennial.
Once every millennia when I'm bored, or if my other friend demands me to play Valorant.
Yeah, that's fair. You got anything?
Oh hell no.
Fair enough. Alright, and I've been Finn.
I'm Nico and still currently Nico.
I've descended to mortalhood.
And that was Madeline. And we'll see you all in the next episode. Bye.
Yeah, bye fuckers.
Oh, Jesus.